Okay, so this is vlog number 2, and it's obviously still on the same theme. It was the 10 top mistakes that I keep seeing over the last 25 years. Obviously on the first vlog we covered the first 3, which was not teaching staff how to use fitness kit properly. Number 1 being that we don't teach them how to use the kit correctly, what people do wrong on it and why you should correct them. That document ends up being 200 reasons to interact. The second one is actually monitoring fitness programs and looking at the product. So again, if you owned a restaurant, would you check the food before it went out? It's just making sure there's a check in place for fitness programs, and that there was no measure in place at all, so we couldn't see whether people were actually doing, whether they were achieving their goals or not. So they were the first 3 we covered under retention. This is the sales section. This will be a little tiny bit quicker. Okay, so point number 4. This is people not understanding net movement. So obviously, being a commercial analyst for Cascade, we used to work with XN, Gladstone, Omnico. I've worked in the past with Legends via when I was at LA Fitness, etc. And one of the key figures, or the most important figures I would say, is knowing your net movements. How many members do you have now? If you started off with 1,000, you lost 100, but you gained 120, you should have 1,020 now. So the net movement would be 20. Now there's 2 forms that you need to look at this at. Is you need to look at this in the actual numbers. So that is correct, I have a net movement of 20 members, but I also need to be looking at the revenue that comes in. Only that if I've lost 100 people who were paying me £45 and I've gained 120 people who are paying me 20, then obviously the revenue isn't going to balance. So the net movement in money is not going to be in the way that I'd like it. Quite often at the moment, a lot of the offers we do are cheaper than what we used to do with all the budget gyms kicking in. So therefore we could be losing people on a higher yield. So understanding that net movement is really, really key. The second side from a sales perspective is actually physically teaching people about the product. I do a lot of product mapping with organisations. In the process of doing this, I go into gyms, I ask the receptionists, what do you offer? And they tell me gym swimming classes. Or I ask the salespeople, what do you offer? And they say gym swimming classes. Well, you offer so much more than that. Again, once you pool together all your resources and you build that into a full product map, what you offer is just, it's through the roof. It can't, no other organisation would be able to compete with yourselves, especially from a council or a trust perspective, once you build all your product together. So the idea behind this one is making sure that the staff are fully aware and building a full product map. And there should be questions and there should be quizzes each month to teach people and to keep them updated on their product. So the idea behind it, how many different varied types of classes do you have on your timetable? What type of yoga is it that you run? Are there, what types of aerobics classes or what type of aqua aerobics classes do you run? So once we start to break down the various different questions and how many pieces of kit have you get, how much variance of kit do you have, how many different types of CV kit could you use, etc, etc. Once we start understanding this, we start to understand our product. This way we can help people prevent the reasons why they leave, the boredom and all the other different things that come along. So in an ideal world, the 2 mistakes that we talked about today are understanding net movement, and secondly is making sure that they understand product knowledge. I quite often do various tests on this in customer care courses just to find out where people are to get a base point. Where do you treat, when someone joins your organisation and they need product knowledge, where do you take them? Probably the website. Does that offer everything? Does it show you all the different rooms you hire out? Does it show you all does it explain about the member's journey and exactly why you should go through it and what happens at phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, ideally phase 5, etc. So hopefully these have helped. Like I've said, there'll be another vlog coming out in a couple of days. The next one's going to be on finance / admin, and then there's one to finish off on operations. Once that's been done, you will then be able to get a copy of this. Okay, so what this is a sheet that will allow you to check how you are dealing with these 10 mistakes. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you've got any ideas or things that you'd like me to talk about, then please just add it into the questions section on LinkedIn, and I'd be more than happy to try and consider doing different types of information or different vlogs on different subjects. Thank you.